Hi guys, Sarah here, and welcome to Novel Expectations. Today I am coming to you with my 8th weekly wrap-up of 2016. I actually finished 3 books this week, so super exciting. I have a lot to talk about. But first, let me jump into my challenge updates. So, according to Goodreads, my Goodreads challenge, I am 1 book ahead, so that's fantastic. My A to Z Authors Challenge, I have now finished 10 out of 26 books. For the A to Z Title Challenge, I have now finished 9 out of 26 books. For my How Many Pages Read challenge, I have completed 3,834 pages out of 25,000 for the year, which puts me at about 15%. And the Jelly Belly Jelly Beans challenge, still no words completed. So let's jump into what I finished reading this week. So the first book I finished reading was The Runaway Lone Star Bride by Kathy Gillian Thacker. It is the first book in the McCabe Multiple series. It was published in 2014, and I gave it 3 stars. This is a cute little story. At the very beginning in the prologue, Maggie runs away from her wedding, and Hart is the male lead's name. He works at the venue where she was getting married kind of as a bodyguard thing, and he stops her. They've always had feelings for each other, but they end up going their separate ways. Well, he shows up 2 years later with a baby in tow. Turns out his ex-girlfriend didn't tell him she was pregnant, and then she passed away, and of course he got the baby. So he came back to see if his parents, because his parents own the venue where Maggie had been getting married, and she's now working there, and to see if they'd help him with the baby. And the story kind of goes from there with the relationship between Hart and Maggie. It's really cute. It was a fun little contemporary romance novel. It was very predictable for a romance novel, but every now and then you need that kind of very lighthearted read. The second book I finished this week, and I'm so excited, is The Time Traveler's Guide to Medieval England, a handbook for visitors to the 14th century by Ian Mortimer. This was published in 2008, and I gave it 4.5 stars. I love this book. I flew through this week. I wanted to make sure that I finished reading it because it was almost the end of the month, and I've been reading this since the 1st of January. Or I think even the end of December. I can't remember. I really, really enjoyed this. If you are interested in history and you enjoy history the way I do, or you're interested in medieval history, please definitely do yourself a favor and check this book out. I'm telling you, it goes through everything. It was such a fantastic read. Like, I'll just tell you guys the chapters. There's a chapter on the landscape, like what the land looked like, the type of people that you would have encountered, the basic essentials that you need to know how people go about their everyday lives, what kind of clothing they wore, how they traveled, where they, if you were visiting a different castle or a different town, where you would have stayed, what you would have eaten and drank, and, your health and hygiene, and the law, and things to do around town. I mean, literally, it's like picking up a travel guide, but to go back in time. I really, really loved it, and I definitely plan on picking up his other book, which I think is on Elizabethan England. So, really, really great. Highly recommend it. And the last book. This is one that I actually started and finished this week, and I was thoroughly impressed. The book is called When the Chips Are Down by Beth Ryoun. It is the first book in the 3 of a Kind series, and it was published in 2015, and I gave it 4.5 stars. If I had to pick a keyword for this book, I would totally use hidden gem. This book, I did not expect to enjoy nearly as much as I enjoyed. I actually got the second book for free on the Kindle. I'm not sure if it's still free. You may want to go check it out. And I don't remember the title of it now. I'll put the title of the second book right here. But when I picked that one, I thought, well, I better read the first book first because it is part of a series. So the first book is the mom's story. Her name is Melanie. She's 37 years old, recently divorced, and mom to 2 16-year-old daughters named Carrie and Gia. And it's pretty much, the story goes back and forth between the mom and the 2 daughters' points of view. Because the mom is actually dating the father of one of the girls' friends, like the dad of one of the boys that her daughters like. And there's this whole other story about the one daughter is being bullied very, very badly in school. So it is an adult book. Just because some of the points of view are told by 16-year-olds does not make this a YA novel. There's sexual content in it, adult sexual content. I know that they talk about drinking, they talk about sex quite a bit, and even the girls talk about that, but they're typical 16, 17-year-olds. The situation that the mom has with her boyfriend is completely different, and I don't think meant necessarily for a younger audience. Still really, really good. I could appreciate the girls and the daughters, and I really love reading about the mom because she was essentially my age. So yeah, again, a very, very well written book. I couldn't put it down. The chapters were super short, which I think makes it that much easier to read because it's like, I'll just read another chapter, just read another chapter. And the next thing you know, you're 20 or 30% through the book and it's time for bed, and you know. So the next two books in the series are actually about the daughters, but the daughters when they're older. So it goes forward in time 3 or 4 years to the girls being in college themselves, I think, and their own relationships. So yeah, I cannot wait to read the next ones. I absolutely love this one. If you are a fan of contemporary romance, if it is on Kindle, and I think it's only available on Kindle, it's under $4. Like, it is totally worth the money. Please read this book. I really, really loved it. I can't say that enough. So what am I currently reading? I am still working my way through Gone with the Wind. I only have 16 hours left. And I'm actually, and I've said before, I'm listening to it at 2 times the speed. So I will have it done this week, guaranteed. And I will have it to talk to you guys about next week. So I'm really looking forward to that. The next book that I started, because I finished The Time Traveler's Guide, is I grabbed another nonfiction novel, and I'm currently reading Witches of America by Alex Marr. I'm only about 40 pages into it, but I'm really enjoying it. What it's about, and I really didn't know what it was about going into it. I mean, I knew what it was about, but I didn't know how they were going to go about it. It's about Alex herself, and she is doing a documentary film on witchcraft and Wicca and paganism in America in our modern time. And it's her journey of meeting these people and talking with these people, and it's, so far, I'm really, really enjoying it. And the best thing about this book is that she is a skeptic. She's from outside that circle. So as an outsider looking in, that's what makes this interesting. And I'm only about 40 pages in, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I think it's going to be a really, really fun and easy read. And the last book I'm currently reading is Double Love by Francine Pascal. It is the first book in the Sweet Valley High series. The reason I am reading this one is because I actually finished all the books that I had on my TBR, or I'm currently reading the last of them that I had on my TBR for the month of February. So I figured since there's only a week left and I am reading that nonfiction book and I'm still listening to Gone with the Wind and I want to get both of those done, hopefully by the end of the week, I would pick up a smaller, easier to read book for the last week of February. And that just happened to be this one. This is, again, a throwback to my childhood. I am trying to reread the whole series of this one along with The Babysitter's Club and Nancy Drew and Fear Street and stuff. For those of you who don't know, Sweet Valley is about a set of twin sisters named Jessica and Elizabeth. They are identical, and they live in this idyllic little town of Sweet Valley, California, and it's about their adventures and misadventures. So this first one is about Elizabeth has a crush on a boy, so does Jessica, so it's pretty much about the two sisters fighting over him. So it'll be a really, really quick read. I started it last night, and I think I'm already a quarter of the way through it. It'll take me no time. If I sat and gave myself a good hour today, I could probably finish it. But, yeah. So anyway, guys, have you read any of these books that I've talked about? And if so, please let me know your thoughts on them. I'd also love to know what you're reading this week. Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye, guys.